We have found that common ground. And we have had, I have probably talked more straight to him than anybody in my entire life. And we have argued vehemently about things. But Papa Patriot stays true to me, and I stay true to him, even though we disagree, radically disagree. Um, it got to the point one time where I went, and he'll verify this. I went to him and said, either you stop doing what you're doing, you're destroying our chances at growing the movement, or I'm going to have to ask you to leave the national team. Even with that kind of pronouncement, he stayed my friend. And I've never heard once where he has badmouthed me, um, tried to destroy me, nothing. And that, that speaks volumes to me about the character of the man that he is.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I told him, even though we disagree, there is a movement for you. It's just not this one. There are all kinds of movements out there that 100% agree with him, but for some reason he is elected to stay in 1776. And, you know, probably the only person in this organization that I have spoken so forcefully to that has a right to say, Dave's rude, because there were times I got rude, and he behaved himself like a man, and has only grown in my respect, and only grown in my love for him. Um, Men should be able to disagree and still find the common cause and work to that end. And that's just my opinion. And that's just not,
I agree with that. And I think this whole movement, maybe starting with TPC and all that, for me, faith wise, I believe this was the Lord. And I believe that he chose you, whether you knew it or not. I mean, the people chose you or whatever, but you did, I think, what you felt he was calling you to do, which was disseminate that and realize that it was bigger than just one person, because one person can be picked off pretty quickly and pretty easily in any war and any warfare, spiritual or natural. And you saw that it's going to take people and not machines and not so on and so forth and AI, that because we're fighting against that as well. And being led by him, you wisely tried to disseminate that. And then things came in here or there. I'm just saying, I feel that there's a warning. If you're fighting, you might be careful, because you could find yourself fighting against God. You're fighting against what he's trying to do, not just through you, but through this movement, because of the prayers of the saints and the cries of his people for justice and for freedom.
I agree 100%. I'm very, very careful about what I do. But, I also know the ramifications of beating your head against the wall. It's until we stop beating our head against the wall. And here's a fact: I might not be the guy for this. I've been fine with that from the beginning. I have never, when I went to disband the national team and the board, I offered it to Elf and Plumber B. And told them I might not be the guy for this. Well, I've still got fight in me. Honestly, at this point in time, I don't know what I'm going to do. I just know that I'm not going to fight with my friends. I'm not going to do it. It's just fruitless to do.
I'm not saying you're fighting against God, brother. I'm not saying you're fighting against God. I don't believe that at all.
That's okay because I worry about that myself. I'm not saying
I don't. I don't. I don't worry about that. I know that you're not. I know that you may question, as we all do, but I don't think you're fighting against him. He's going to be very clear with you. You're going to have some very clear direction in the future with confirmation, as I hope and pray we all do. But I think that, there are stages. There's infancy, there's toddlership, there's, 5 and 6 and 7-year-olds. We're growing, we're maturing. It's never pretty. Sometimes it's great. Other times it's not so great. And we're in a stage right now that's not so great. But the word and the prayer I keep getting is that we're going to be a force that's going to be reckoned with. A mighty fortress that's going to be reckoned with throughout this nation and even around the world. Because what we're fighting against is not just within this nation, which I believe 3 years ago. Well, I was errant, of course, and it's been revealed that that's not the truth. But we do have to stick together. We do have to be true, and we do have to stay in the fight. There are going to be things we disagree about. There are going to be things we might get hurt about or upset about. But the fight's way bigger than that. And if the enemy would like us to focus on those things, as he always does, and get us distracted and get us divided, but the fight's still much bigger than that. And I pray that we all stick in here and stick together and keep fighting, no matter where we're called and where he places us.
Sis, you have how do I say this? You have an amazing ability to talk to my heart.
That's him, brother. That's not me. That's not me. I know that's not me.
Yeah. And that has been from the beginning. People don't know our story. Yep. They don't know our background.
I know. Yep.
But you, of all people in this world, you have an amazing ability to speak straight to my heart. And I'm not trying to be hard-headed here. I'm not trying to be. I'm trying to be sensible about what I'm doing. I want this thing to go. I want this thing to go forward. I want this thing to succeed. I would never start. I don't start things that I don't want to succeed. And I counted the cost at the beginning, and I knew that from past leadership roles, I knew that if anything took us down, it would be this. And I've said it so many times. I will not fight my friends and my enemy at the same time. I can't. I just don't have the energy to do it. But I love you and I appreciate you more than you know. And
amen. And I'll be finished and I'll be praying and we'll just see where this all leads. Amen.
Appreciate that.
Be blessed, brother.
I don't know if you guys are jumping around like I'm jumping around, but I'm losing track of where I was. Tom. Let's go to Tom.
Hey, Santa. What's up?
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Yeah, you can suck my nuts, dude. Later.
I can't hardly hear you, Tom.
You hear that? Just ignore him. Just ignore him.
I couldn't hear what he said.
So. No, you don't want to.
Okay.
Not worth repeating, Taylor.
Okay. Adria?
Just a troll.
Adria, go ahead. You got the floor.
Oh, hello. It was D and I, but he's trucking and he keeps losing service. So if I get him back, I'll send him the number and the password. The only reason we haven't joined before now is my life has been total chaos, because most of you or some of you may know or may not know. So, Melissa, Lord bless her heart, has constantly tried to keep me in contact. And the baby's had some medical issues or concerns. So, it's one thing, it's not another. But I totally forgot about tonight. It was 7:30, and I said, oh my gosh, there's a call, and we joined. So, Fanny, you know that, and maybe you don't know, I have looked up to you. I'm probably going to cry. Ever since I met you in Hagerstown, there was something about you that was so different than everybody else there. Not that a lot of us didn't have the same mindset or the same fighting ability or the same desire for our world, right? And mine maybe not God-led at the time. I mean, maybe unbeknownst to me it was, but it wasn't God-led in my heart at that time. And you have changed or helped change me in a lot of ways, because when we used to truck and we would meet you at that office and we'd sit down and talk to you, it was like, that's why I always tell everybody, I will stand with Santa, because you all don't know him like I do. I don't need to look at somebody's past to know I stand next to somebody. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go look for dirt, because if you look for dirt, you're going to find dirt. Everybody's got it. But you were like a breath of fresh air. You were this renewed spirit that I needed to hear. And I always felt comforted and as if the Lord was right there. It was amazing. And you brought me back to that. And I say you, maybe even the movement, but you had a lot of doing it. I have to say that. And even Dee. I mean, he's such a different person than he was. And I don't mean in a bad way, but we try to let God lead our lives. We're not perfect. We fall short all the time, but we try. And a lot of that has to do with you. And we do want to stand with you. And we would fight this any which way that needs to be fought. You know what I mean? And I feel guilty for not being part of all these phone calls that you've done. And I just end up finding out too late, or I joined too late, and then I missed it or whatever. So I love you, and I think you're an amazing person. I haven't listened to what I am shocked. Dee and I have taken a thing where we don't watch other people's stuff. We get messages about it, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't listen to it, because what am I listening to it for? Why would I want to bring that negativity into my life and allow it to destroy what I already have going for myself? I don't need it. There's nothing they could tell me about you that would shock me or change my mind about you. Just like, I mean, I would hope the same thing for me, but I can't say that. And I'm sorry that it's come to this, but it's not that I don't understand. You and I've had a lot of little spats here and there. We're two strong-headed individuals. You want what you want, and you know where you want to take it. And I appreciate that about you, because you do stand firm with what you believe in and where it should go. And I know what's coming, because you've been able to share that with us and open our hearts. Melissa has been there. A lot of these people that have been part of our lives have continued to help mold us and help us achieve a better perspective and goals in life. You know what I mean? So I don't want this to happen. I don't think it's the right answer, but I can understand where you're coming from for sure. And you've been fighting the battle for a really long time. So I get it, even if it's a temporary situation for right now. And I wish we could get more people to stand up. Dee and I talk to people all the time, but nobody's willing to take the baton. Nobody's willing to stand beside you. They say it, but you look behind you and they're not there. They're chatting about somebody else in some other country that has ill words to say about somebody. I think it's ridiculous. I've just stopped it. I don't listen to it anymore. So I love you. I love the Patriot movement. I mean, I hate that the infighting has to happen. Sorry, the baby's fussing. I'm trying to be as undistracted as possible. But I mean, Dee and I will still try to do our part. We'll still try to talk to people about Jesus and the movement in our country. I mean, that's just kind of where I am. I'm going to keep rambling at this point because it's very distracting. So I'm sorry. But I love you all, and I appreciate every friendship we've gained from this. Okay.
Maybe I have the same feelings towards you and Dee. The growth I've seen in you guys since the beginning, relatively unknown fact that I didn't care at all for Big D. I didn't personally. I didn't understand him, and as a matter of fact, one night we were going around the Capitol, and Big D had become the convoy lead that day. And again, I was following. I was doing what I was told, and some guys got on the radios and started talking about shutting down on the bridge there. Was it 3? It's the one that cuts up through the middle of DC. I forget the name of it now. 395 maybe. But our orders were to go across that bridge and then back to Hagerstown. And some guys got on. Of course, we got in the traffic jam on the bridge as always. And I heard guys talking Big D into stopping after we got across the bridge for 13 minutes. And their guise was to honor the 13 fallen in Afghanistan. And that was not our orders. I don't like doing things on the fly like that unless it's absolutely necessary. And so Big D, he's Big D, man, he's all about bucking the rules. And so he stopped, and I finally got my way out. I was bumper to bumper there, and I got my way out, and I took off. And he says, "You leaving?" He didn't know my name. Nobody knew my name, but he said, "You leaving there, Black KW?" I said, "Yeah." And so that night, this is who I am. I thought I knew who he was. Of course, I didn't know him, but so I walked up to this guy that I thought was Big D, and I said, "Hey, I need to talk to you." He said, "Oh, okay." He was real nice, Wasn't Big D. It was not Big D at all. And I said, "What was that on the interstate?" And he goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Why'd you stop the traffic, for 13 minutes?" He goes, "I mean, you got the wrong guy." I'm like, "Oh." I said, "Are you the one they call Big D?" He goes, No. I said, "Well, who's Big D?" Excuse me. Fortunately, I didn't find him that night, but I was going to confront him, and it wasn't until we started out west and the group got smaller that I was able to get to know him better, and I'm so glad I did. Just to watch him grow as a man, it's just been phenomenal to me. I've seen him. One thing I've always found about Big D is he's supremely honest, and that means more to me than anything for a person to be honest. And I'm honored to have you and him both as my friends. And you're right. You and I have had like Papa Patriot. You and I, especially at the beginning when we were still in Bunker Hill, you and I had some major problems, major disagreements. But we were always able to work through them, and I appreciate you for that. Love you with all my heart, man. Love you with all my heart. Tammy Monday, you got the floor.
Hi, Zan. I just want to let you know I appreciate everything, and I'm still gonna wave my flags and I'm gonna keep my signs up. I got court next month. I really don't got much else to say. God bless you.
Bless you.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I think I've got everybody. When my screen's jumping around, it's so hard for me to see. I went on my computer this time, hoping it would be a little better, but it's not. Have I missed anybody? Anybody I haven't called on? Feel free to open your mic. Okay, I will ask that you pray for me. I'm not sure what path I'm going to take right now. I just know that there's too much fight in me to completely. I'll never stop fighting, guys, and I don't want you to stop fighting. I have my my inability to pull us together as one, and that's what it's got to be. Absolutely, what it has to be. Again, this is not based on some faction of the left or some faction of evil that's come against me. That's not it at all. Those people inspire me. This is my own. This is my own. This is my Aaron, my Hur. For you that don't know that story, Moses was led by God to send the children of Israel into battle. I believe it was against maybe the Ammonites. I can't remember exactly. It's been a long time since I read the story. But anyway, but he raised his hands at the beginning of the battle, and Aaron and Hur, his two right hand men, they noticed that when he got tired and he started letting his arms down, that Israel would begin to lose. But when he had his arms up, Israel would prevail. And so one got on one side and one got on the other. And he held his arms up. So when the people that hold my arms up become combative, there's not a whole lot I can do. I'm just a man. I'm weak. I'm beggarly. I'm pitiful in every way, and I know that. And I knew that I had to have good people around me, and I do have good people around me. I'm not disparaging anybody, but there have been a few that I have put my whole heart into, my whole trust into, and that's what's brought about this decision. I encourage you to continue the battle, and if it, honestly, I believe. I believe who was it was speaking a while ago? Shelby, I believe it was talking about what's coming. I concur completely. There are bad things on the horizon for our country, and maybe that is when good men and women will stand together. And my fear is that will be too late. I was hoping to build an army of patriots that could do this, and this is not good times, but it's better times than what's coming. I've got to find what my next course of action will be. Guarantee you, I'm not going to stop. In some, let me just put it this way: in some capacity, I will be fighting the fight. I don't know what that is right now, but I will be fighting the fight. So, I love you guys and appreciate you more. Steve, I'm sorry, I always do this. Steve, do you have anything to add?
No, I'm just going to try to keep the website up and running. And everything is practically going to stay all the same. There might be some changes down the road, but as far as the website goes, stuff's still going to be available. It's going to be a place that you can come in and post your or stuff in the different groups. Going to keep that active. Place to communicate, to let you know or get out to the other people that's still around to get your information out about your rallies and meetings and everything else. So don't be afraid to leave me a post. I'll try to take care of what's the problem, but you know well as I do, stuff gets piled up sometimes. So you all have a good night as far as I care, and I'm done.
Night, Santa.
Good night, guys. Love you all.
Thank you, Steve.
Night, all.
God help us all.
Night, all.
The children have showed up.
Yeah, I see the children showed up.
Yeah.
I hope the door doesn't hit them in the butt on the way up.
I figured out how to do some stuff myself. So go to the website, help Steve out there. He, in a conversation with him this morning, he told me, said if it continues to be prosperous, then we'll. And by prosperous, he doesn't mean financially. He means by people talking to each other and stuff like that. But he said that he'll keep it going. Got to understand, Steve has offered to do this at his own expense, guys, and I give him a lot of honor for that. So go help him all you can. But know that I love you. You that have been true and faithful always have my heart. So just keep doing what you're doing. All right. With that, I'll say good night. You, good morning to us. So you guys have a good one.
Yep. Everybody have a good night. We'll catch you later.
I don't know how to sign out of here.
Get lost, Santa. Get lost, dude. Get lost. Go away.
Goodbye.